Right now at 7, how a new agreement with ICE is raising eyebrows in Smith County, and we explain how one constable says most residents likely won't notice any changes, while another has chosen not to participate in this federal program. Plus, a new twist in a 40-year-old East Texas murders case. Up next, what Rusk County investigators are saying about the DNA evidence that has identified a third suspect in the 1983 KFC killings. Plus, porch pirates are back this holiday season, snatching packages all over the country. Up next, we'll share the simple steps police say you can use to help save your deliveries.
We could get some record high temperatures once again for today. By how much? I'll let you know in your forecast coming up. So stay right there because Morning Y'all on CBS19 Plus starts right now.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS19 Plus.
After more than 3 hours of discussion and about 40 public comments, Smith County commissioners voted to let Precinct 4 Constable Josh Joplin's office join the 287G task force model. Deputy constables will receive ICE training and limited authority to enforce federal immigration laws. Supporters say it targets criminals, but opponents fear it could create anxiety in the Hispanic communities. Good morning, y'all. Thanks so much for staying with us here on CBS 19 Plus. I'm Jesus Martinez. Dana Dixon is on assignment. We're so glad you're with us. We'll get to that story in a minute, but first, let's get a check on that forecast with Joel. It is cloudy out there behind you.
No, for sure. It is definitely a gloomy start to the day. I do expect that these clouds will continue to stick around for the most part through this afternoon. Could have a couple of peaks of sunshine in there, and I think that'll be a huge player on how hot we're going to get for today. We have that potential to see some record high temperatures for today. We're just going to have to see if we get there, depending on the cloud cover. But this morning, you're stepping out the door with temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s. We got 70 in the Rose City, 68 in Longview, 65 in Carthage, also 64 degrees in Center. And temperatures as we continue into the rest of this morning will reach into the low 80s by the early afternoon. Clouds again continuing to stick around. Could have a couple of showers as well. Most everybody's going to be just staying pretty dry and cloudy. Our record high today is 82 degrees. I think we have a chance to see 84 or at least get pretty close to 84 depending on the cloud cover. Also southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. A much calmer day wind-wise for today. Again, a couple of showers, certainly not out of the realm of possibility, but it's not until we get to Thursday. We have a weather impact alert for Thursday and Friday. For that potential for some very heavy thunderstorms, I have all the details on that coming up in your full forecast, so stick around.
All right, looking forward to it, Joel. Thanks so much. This morning, another East Texas law enforcement agency is partnering with federal immigration authorities in the 287G Task Force Model Program. Smith County Commissioners Court approved that for Precinct 4 Constable's Office number 4 to join that program in an hours-long meeting yesterday. The move comes after weeks of public debate over that 287G program. CBS 19's Robert De La Garza joins us now with a recap of that meeting and breaks down what's next.
After more than 3 hours of discussion and about 40 public comments, Smith County Commissioners approved allowing Precinct 4 Constable Josh Joplin's office to enter the 287G task force model. The vote passed with only one commissioner opposed. Under the agreement, deputy constables will be trained by ICE and given limited authority to enforce federal immigration laws during routine duties. Joplin says the program is not intended for immigration sweeps and that his deputies will not enforce immigration laws at schools or churches. About 40 people signed up to speak in Tuesday's hearing, some supporting the programs, others voicing concerns that it will create fear, especially among the Hispanic community.
The 287G task force does not make our communities safer. Instead, it leads to over-policing of predominantly Hispanic neighborhoods and threatens to rip apart our community.
This is not about enforcing some newly invented laws on the books. This is not about targeting any particular group of people. This is about apprehending criminals, those who break the law in our community, and making sure that we keep East Texans safe.
Smith County Sheriff's Office has already been part of the 287G program, though its recent move to seek federal reimbursement has drawn opposition. But Joplin says his office will not take federal reimbursement funds. Looking ahead, the constable's office still has to complete immigration officer training before adopting the program and begin exercising that authority. Back to Morning Y'all.
And outside, a crowd gathered with signs calling for ICE to leave Smith County. It comes just a week after dozens protested downtown over the sheriff's office joining the federal immigration program. Protesters say it creates fear in the Hispanic community and tears families apart, and they're urging local leaders to consider its real human impact. And as that debate expands in the county, another constable's office in Smith County is making its stance clear. Precinct 1 says it will not take part in the 287G program. In a statement, Constable Ralph Carraway Jr. says his office will stay focused on its core duties, which are enforcing the law fairly, professionally, and without bias. He encourages residents to reach out with questions, adding that the office is committed to transparency, civil rights, and maintaining trust with everyone in Smith County. Commissioner Ralph Carraway Sr., who is the father of the Precinct 1 constable, cast the lone vote against allowing Precinct 4 to join the federal program. Rose County investigators will soon name a third suspect tied to the 1983 Kentucky Fried Chicken murders. It's been more than 40 years since 5 people were kidnapped and murdered in Kilgore. 5 victims were taken from that KFC and taken to an oil field that is, where they were shot execution style. Romeo Pinkerton and his cousin Darnell Hartsfield were eventually convicted after DNA evidence tied them to the scene. The Rose County District Attorney's Office says new DNA technology has found the third person linked to a final genetic profile. Prosecutors will share the name of that person at a news conference, calling it a major step in closing one of East Texas's most notorious unsolved mysteries. Now, Hartsfield claimed there was another killer out there, but he died in 2022 while serving a life sentence. This morning, the online gaming platform Roblox is rolling out with major new security upgrades. It's one of the company that it says will keep kids safe from interacting with adults they don't know. The company platform says there will be a facial age check for anyone who wants to use its chat feature. Users will hold their phone up to the camera, turn their head, and the app that is will estimate their age. Players who don't verify will still be able to play, they just won't be able to chat.
What we're really trying to do is limit contact between minors and adults that they do not know. From a data collection standpoint, we use your device, your phone, to capture the image. The moment that it's captured and your age is identified, we delete the information.
Roblox is launching a new parent safety center as well, with tools to help parents understand who their kids are interacting with, set limits, and manage spending. The company will begin enforcing the age checks in January. All right, take a look at this. Police have released a new video of a brazen casino robbery in Las Vegas. Police say the suspect went into the cashier's cage, displayed an AR-style rifle, and demanded money. This happened Thursday night, and this new video shows a security guard approaching the man, but he quickly backed off after seeing the gun. Police say the cage employee complied, and the armed suspect got away, and police are still looking for that suspect. Well, as the holiday season approaches, a familiar problem is making a return. Packages just disappearing right off your doorsteps. Across neighborhoods, residents are finding new ways to protect their deliveries and stay one step ahead of thieves. Jasmine Durjante explains.
I feel like just anywhere across America, it's been a growing concern.
That growing concern, porch pirates, people stealing packages right off doorsteps. As the Marina Police expect those thefts to rise through the holidays, people who live here say they're prepared.
What we do is if we're not going to be here, we know we're going to get a package, then we ask our neighbors to take it for us. So a lot of it is communication with your neighbors.
Setting up a camera will be really helpful as well to just catch these porch pirates.
It's not just this Marina neighborhood. Video from Delray Oaks police shows someone grabbing a package and taking off. In Salinas, a Creek Bridge resident was also hit. You can see the package being taken and the thief walking away.
And they will typically walk to avoid any kind of interest in the public, like they're just about to knock on a door. And they will grab the package and run back to their car and drive off.
If you're ever the victim of something like this, police say to file a police report right away and send them any video you have.
And we will place a still image of the suspect on one of a better phrase, a wanted poster, and that gets electronically broadcast throughout the area.
Police also suggest requesting signatures for packages, scheduling delivery times, and setting up delivery notifications. This Marina neighborhood, which sees theft year after year, is just hoping these porch pirates leave their packages alone.
I just hope that nobody has to encounter that horrible experience of losing something they ordered and really want to have.
All good tips there. 7:10 this morning. Time now for your morning headlines. The Epstein files Right now, just President Trump's signature away from being released. The Senate has approved a House-passed bill requiring the Justice Department to reveal all records tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the measure passed with a single no vote in the House and is expected to reach the president's desk today once it is formally transmitted. On to drivers, listen up. The company is recalling more than 250,000 vehicles. The reason? Well, a software flaw that can cause drivers to lose power, increasing the risk of a crash. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the recall includes Honda Accord hybrid vehicles with model years 2023 through 2025. And DoorDash is teaming up with discount chain Family Dollar to deliver household goods, groceries, and other items. DoorDash says the new partnership will let consumers use its app to shop at roughly 7,000 Family Dollars all over the country. And just in time for the holidays, Chapel Hill ISD is launching a new district-wide food bank to help students and families facing food insecurity. They're calling it the Pantry of Promise, and the district is asking the community for support and donations. All campuses are now collecting non-perishable foods like canned fruits and vegetables, soups, pasta, among other items. Donations can be dropped off at any campus front office during school hours. All right, well, three sisters are chasing an Olympic dream, with all of them on the verge of qualifying for the Winter Games in Italy. The siblings say growing up together gave them the perfect training ground. CBS's Tina Kraus shares why.
Here they come.
The Masuga sisters have been chasing each other on skis since they could walk. Now the Utah siblings are on Team USA and one step away from the Olympic stage.
And all of a sudden, here we are. They're like, we could go to the Olympics together. Like, oh my gosh.
Lauren is an alpine skier. Her older sister Sam flies high as a ski jumper. And Allie is the youngest, tackling moguls.
I'm a freestylist. Like, I kind of got that fun little vibe. And like Sam, a ski jumper, like it's insane. And like she's a leader. And then Lauren, like she's super fun, energetic, wants to go really fast.
Their parents say the competitive spirit started young.
I mean, they used to be like sledding in the backyard, fighting over who went the furthest. And you're like,
yeah.
We're sledding here, guys. It's okay.
From backyard battles to world-class slopes, the Masuga sisters are now racing toward the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan.
When we were younger, we'd talk about the Olympics and we're like, oh, that's so cool, like watching it, but it was never like, oh, I'm gonna go to the Olympics.
Like, I get to have my siblings there with me for the ride, and we're not even competing against each other. We're just wholeheartedly supporting each other.
With the final round of qualifiers just 2 months away, this fierce family trio is on the brink of making Olympic history together. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
And best of luck to them. All right, whether your days feel too busy or too short or just packed with so much to do, most of us could use a little extra time. And some people say they'd spend it catching up on sleeping, others on exercise, relaxing, or spending it with family or on a hobby. So we want to ask you today, if you could add 1 extra hour to your day, what would you use it for, Joel?
I probably would use it for sleep, quite honestly, yeah.
See, the crazy thing about me, especially now that we've come back, or switched our clocks back, is obviously it gets darker sooner.
Yes.
My body is like, hey, it's dark outside, you've stayed up too late. And so I've been getting tired around 6 o'clock when I usually don't go to sleep until like 7 or 8 o'clock.
Right.
I've been getting more sleep, but I've been feeling more tired.
There you go. Yeah, that's interesting how that works.
Ironic how that works. My body is playing tricks on me. But anyways, I'd use that extra hour just to hang out.
Yeah.
And just do whatever I need to do, whether that's read, watch TV, more time for cooking or baking.
Yeah.
We all have a packed, busy schedule.
Yeah, I guess, for me, it can kind of depend on like what I'm doing for the day. Like I might need an extra hour to like pack, or might need an extra hour for errands.
Right.
It really kind of varies. But overall, I mean, I like my sleep.
I like my sleep too. And this shift, I was going to say,
what,
sleep is great. Whenever you get to sleep in those extra 30 minutes, you feel guilty. You might be in late for work, but you got extra 30 minutes of sleep.
Exactly.
It's worth it. A couple responses on our Facebook this morning. Lila saying, enjoying the daylight. Yeah, if we can only get an hour more of daylight, which you can next year, once we spring forward.
In March.
In March. It'll be a while. Jason saying some sleep, and Kristen saying praising God. So all good answers here this morning, but I wish we had 1 more hour of traffic.
Yeah.
Do we? Do we want 1 more hour of traffic? No.
I don't
probably
know if
1
we
less
do.
hour of traffic.
Yeah, we probably want 1 less hour.
Probably less time in traffic.
Yeah, I mean, you might be honestly, there might be a little bit of a hang-up with the fog this morning. Let's take a look at I-20 and US 69 and some of the other routes here across the area. Not looking too bad, pretty quiet on I-20 this morning. We got 2 hours over to Dallas and an hour and 30 minutes over to Shreveport. Now, there is some pretty dense fog reported in the Marshall area this morning, so if you are heading eastbound towards Shreveport, plan to leave with maybe a little bit of extra time this morning. 2.5 hours up to Denison, an hour and 30 minutes down to Lufkin. Not looking too bad there either. 55 minutes from Jacksonville to Nacogdoches this morning. Tyler to Longview is still a 40-minute commute. 55 minutes from Tyler to Palestine, and from Tyler to Athens, that's going to be about 45 minutes for you this morning. CBS19 Live Radar, it's nice and quiet. We got a lot of clouds overhead, but no rain at the moment. I do expect maybe a couple showers into this afternoon, but we're down to 0. 0 mile visibilities in Carthage, also 0 mile visibilities in Mount Pleasant, and a little over a mile visibility down in Crockett. So very low visibilities. They are kind of fluctuating from time to time, but I do have us at a yellow light all the way through this morning for that fog. Temperatures in the 60s, and for this afternoon should be nice and dry for you. We'll have a couple of showers, but nothing that will really impact your afternoon commute. So 84, cloudy skies, nice and clear for you.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. Yeah, we don't want an extra hour of traffic. All right, we're all looking for ways to save money and cut down on food waste. Well, now there's an app for that. It's called Too Good To Go. Cheryl Mercedes shows us how it works and how it's making a difference for businesses and consumers.
So, Ray, what do we have here today?
At Michael's Cookie Jar, every batch is made from scratch.
We don't skip any corners, and it tastes good. It's classic flavors done right.
What would you say is one of your most popular cookies that you offer here?
I'll give you one guess what our most popular cookie is.
Chocolate chip.
You got it.
But even the best cookie has an expiration date. Michael Savino says once a cookie is more than a day old, he can't sell it.
If it's not fresh, if it doesn't meet standards, what are you going to do with it?
A couple of years ago, Savino found the answer in an app called Too Good To Go.
We launched in the U.S. in 2020.
Users can download it for free. Search for food that's available from local businesses that would otherwise be thrown out and get it for a fraction of the price.
What kind of solutions does Too Good To Go offer businesses and consumers to reduce food waste?
It's actually been shown that reducing food waste is the #1 thing that individuals can do to help fight climate change. So this is a way that everyone can get involved and help be part of this mission to help save the 40% of food that's wasted globally each year.
Allie Denberg says Too Good To Go is working with over 36,000 stores across the country and over 900 business partners in Houston, including Shipley Donuts, Whole Foods, and Michael's Cookie Jar.
It's nice to have something that for the business owner is easy. The deal with the app is it's a mystery bag.
Oh.
So you don't know what flavors you're getting. So it's a little bit of everything. Chocolate chip. We got M&M, double chocolate, and vanilla sugar.
Out of the display case, each cookie costs $2.75, but through Too Good To Go, you get 8 cookies for $5.99. That's a savings of $16. And while customers get a sweet bargain, for Savino, the payoff is knowing nothing goes to waste.
It's just nice to not throw anything away. That's really the bottom line.
Innovation that excites. All right, 7:19 this morning, still ahead. Basketball season is on fire in East Texas with huge wins, that is, and jaw-dropping dunks. Plus, we've got a messy football playoff matchups. All that coming up next in sports.
It's time for CBS19 Sports.
Morning, y'all. Dan Millay with your sports here. Appreciate you joining us. We are officially in the thick of basketball season here in Beast, Texas. We're also going to be talking about football playoffs soon. But first, let's head down the road for Tyler Legacy girls hosting Tyler High. We join here at the very start. Lady Raiders up 2-0 in the first quarter. To game action now. Legacy working outside in. Grace Mills gives it to Kayla Allen, who misses her first chance, but then gets the put back to go. Later on, Mills drives and kicks to the corner for Madison Farmer, who knocks down the wide open corner three, rattles it home. Then Armani Walker, working from the top of the key, gives it up to A.J. Crawford, who lines up the wing three and drills it. Tyler Legacy just dominating this first quarter of action, and head coach Ross Barber is fired up about it. You'll see why when we show you that first quarter score. There it is, 13-3. Lady Lions unable to get a field goal to drop so far. Second quarter now, Allen grabs the offensive rebound, kicks it out to Zaria Caesar, who steps into the tray ball. Lefty jump shot looking smooth there. Moving the ball in the fast break now. Nicole Baldwin and Madison Farmer working their way up the court, and then Baldwin takes it herself through the lane. Tyler Legacy getting the job done on both ends last night in a 65-18 win over Tyler High. Lady Raiders improved to 2-1 on the season. And just up the loop, Grace leading Maybank 29-10 in the Cougars season opener. Late in that first half, the Panthers' Luke Carter ahead of the pack decides to stop and pop and cans the three. This kid, he could shoot it, folks. Second half now, Carter trying to break down the defense, but decides to just let it fly. Another three for number three. Maybank on the comeback trail here as Jaden Collin gets the steal and on the defensive side, and then finishes the layup on the offensive side. Then Cullen McFowle, he'll grab the offensive rebound for the Panthers, hitting Collin inside, who finishes with the left this time. Cougars got to start firing back, and they do here. That's Brady Luce on the catch and shoot tray ball from the left wing. Now it's 6'8" Ian Morenzi on the outside saying, I may be a big fella, but I can shoot the rock too. Hand down, man down. Back-to-back threes for Grace. Maybank not phased, though. Some nice ball movement leads to this inside cut and score from McFowle along the baseline. For the Cougars, though, check out the drive and left-handed score from Coleman Swaim. Cougars go on to win their first contest of the year yesterday, 58-53 over the Panthers. To college ball now, Texas A&M hosting Montana last night as Ryan Griffin hits the early three. Then a little give and go action. Josh Holloway floats it up to the big man Jamie Vincent, who slams it down. And it's Lob City in College Station. This time Richard Isaacs lobs it up for Federico. Now give it to the shooter. Ruben Dominguez lines up the straightaway three and drills it. Grizzlies fought hard, but the Aggies went on to take that one last night, 86-81. Mustangs were going buck wild last night, too. Here's Samit Igatoglu throwing it down in traffic. SMU had itself a dunk fest. This time, Corey Washington rising up and finishing with authority. Later in that second half, Mustangs stampeding down the floor. Jared Pierce Jr. finishes the alley-oop. He had a game-high 23. This time, the senior puts it on the floor, bodies a defender, rises up for another throwdown. SMU improves to 5-0 with this 106-60 win yesterday over Arkansas Pine Bluff. And last but not least, Texas hosting Ryder as Dalen Swain gets the easy dunk on the leak out. Then Simeon Wilcher drills to three from the right wing. Longhorns dominating in this one. In the corner now, it's Camden Hyde from three with a hand in his face. This time, Hyde connects from way downtown. He scored 20. Matas Kokitaitis scored 20. Swain scored 26 as Texas went on to demolish Ryder 99-65. All right, we'll end with local football. We're looking to hit about 13 games between Thursday and Friday, but we'll focus on three right here. First, our game of the week out in Marshall will be Dangerfield against ARPA. Real cat fight, if you will. In Nacogdoches, Jimmy Searfoss has got Lindale versus Fort Bend Crawford. He'll be joining me live at 6:30 in the kickoff show on Friday. And I'll be staying in the studio, so I'm hitting Jewett-Leon versus Beckville just over at Rose Stadium. Of course, we'll have the highlights from those games and so many more Friday night starting at 10. But that's all the time we have for sports. Morning, y'all. Back to y'all.
All right, Dan, thanks so much. We're about to step away for a quick moment while we do our Over the Break. Cut in with a quick news update. We'll be right back here on CBS 19+. Good morning, all. I'm Jesus Martinez. Thank you so much for joining us for this news update. This morning, another East Texas law enforcement agency is partnering with federal immigration authorities in the 287G Task Force Model Program. Smith County Commissioner's Court approved the Precinct 4 Constable's Office to join that program in an hours-long meeting yesterday. Now, the new partnership gives Precinct 4 constables limited immigration enforcement authority, and residents spoke out on both sides of this issue during the meeting. Constable Josh Joplin says there's no reason for the community to be afraid, stressing there will be no raids and no daily operations won't change. He says the agreement simply gives constables access to federal databases to identify people they can't verify through standard systems, not expanded enforcement powers.
Chances are you will never have to see me, you will never have to deal with me, but if you are here breaking the law and you are here defying the laws of the state of Texas and you know you're illegal, those two things go hand in hand. We have laws for a reason. We're a nation and a state and a country built on laws, and I don't mind people who want to come here and live the American dream, but at the end of the day, everyone has to follow the law.
Joplin says only 3 of the office's 6 constables are actually eligible to take part in the 287G program. He adds that his office won't be taking any federal reimbursement money tied to the program. And outside, a crowd gathered with signs calling for ICE to leave Smith County. Protesters say the program creates fear in the Hispanic community and tears families apart, and they're urging local leaders to consider its real human impact. And as that debate expands in the community, another constable's office is making its stance clear. Precinct 1 says it will not take part, that is, in the 287G program. In a statement, Constable Ralph Carraway Jr. says his office will stay focused on its core duties, which are enforcing the law fairly, professionally, and without bias. He's encouraging residents to reach out with questions, adding that the office is committed to transparency, civil rights, and maintaining trust with everyone in Smith County. By the way, Commissioner Ralph Carraway Sr., who is the father of the Precinct 1 constable, cast the lone vote against allowing Precinct 4 to join the federal program. All right, let's get a check on that forecast now with Joel. Joel, it is cloudy out there, but you are our sunshine to the day.
Oh, well, thank you. That's really sweet. Yeah, we do actually have a couple of peaks of sunshine possible into this afternoon, despite the cloudy start. We got temperatures possibly exceeding record highs, which is around 82 degrees for today. 84, 85 is what we can expect for today. Could have a couple of showers embedded within the cloud cover as well. And we have a couple of waves of rain coming into Thursday and into Friday. Wave 1 is going to be moving in to areas along and north of I-20 while you're sleeping. So Emory, Sulphur Springs, Mineola, Mount Pleasant, Gilmer, you're going to be getting in on this first wave. And then we have a second wave moving in by the afternoon and evening. That'll impact the rest of us here in East Texas with some very heavy rainfall and possibly even a third wave behind that wave. That'll be a little bit weaker. And then the second half of Friday should be in much better shape. So any sort of Friday night football games or any sort of plans that you might have on Friday should be much better during the second half. And then we are watching for the next chance for some good accumulating rainfall heading into the area on Monday and Tuesday. We'll keep you advised throughout the week.
Just after 7:30 this morning, welcome back to Morning All on CBS 19 Plus. This is what's coming up in our second half hour. The Texas congressional map is now on pause, blocked by a federal judge, but the state is already appealing. where the redistricting fight heads next, coming up. Also, a sweeping vote in Congress puts Epstein's files one step closer to being released. The emotional reaction outside the Capitol and the fight still ahead.
And we're tracking plenty, and I mean plenty of rainfall in the next couple of days here, with our next system possibly moving in by the early parts of next week. We'll show you just exactly the details, what we know so far in your forecast later this half hour.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning York on CBS 19 Plus.
Good morning, y'all. Thanks so much for joining us here. I'm Jesus Martinez. Dana Dixon is on assignment. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is appealing a federal court decision blocking the state's new congressional maps, which would give Republicans more seats. That judge who wrote on the opinion blocking the map was appointed by President Trump. Teresa Woodard explains what comes next.
A state can draw a new congressional map to help a party. That's political gerrymandering, and it's constitutional. Racial gerrymandering is not, and a federal court says that's what Texas did. Governor Abbott says any claim these maps are discriminatory is absurd. Texas is appealing.
The Supreme Court could conceivably issue a stay of this opinion tomorrow morning, for all we know. Or they might take no action at all for weeks and weeks, or no action ever. The Supreme Court could potentially just do nothing.
For now, the previous map is in place, and the Democrats who had been drawn out of their seats can run for their old ones again.
I intend to file for re-election in the 32nd Congressional District that I've been proud to represent. I think my colleagues are all intending to file for re-election in their districts as well.
President Trump pushed for Texas to do this, even saying once he was entitled to 5 more Republican seats here. He got them, then Tuesday's ruling
It's a little bit of a blow.
Erased them.
What this means for elections going forward is if you are working on a competitive House race, it suddenly got twice as important for you if you're a Republican to hold on to this seat, or if you're a Democrat to hold on to your seats.
Democrats in the Texas House spent 2 weeks out of state trying to keep the map from passing. It ultimately did, but that quorum break brought international attention to their fight.
This is probably the most important thing that I've ever done in my political career, is to really help people understand that this is a moment in time that we have to rise and have courage and say, Democrat or Republican, it's not right anywhere. And I just pray that the Supreme Court does the same as the lower court in El Paso did.
We're here in East Texas. Marshall ISD trustees have voted to fire the district's strength and conditioning coordinator following an incident involving a student. The district said a staffer in that department had been placed on administrative leave. That employee, Mason Height, the only member of the strength and conditioning staff, was officially terminated that is during Monday's school board meeting. Meanwhile, the Panola County Jail has been flagged for a compliance issue after a routine state inspection this week. According to the sheriff there, the Texas Commission on Jail Standards found that in some cases, staff issued disciplinary paperwork to inmates before the required 24-hour cooling off period. The sheriff says the problem came from a miscommunication among staff, calling it an administrative issue, not one involving safety, living conditions, or inmate treatment. The county has 30 days to bring the jail fully to compliance. And in Hawkins, a divided city council has removed Municipal Judge Mitch Henderson, adding to the city's ongoing challenges without a police department. Mayor Deb Rushing cast the tie-breaking vote, even as she remains under investigation by the Texas Rangers for tampering with government records. Henderson says the council needed 4 votes and believes politics and pending citations may be behind the move. Rushing says the city doesn't need a judge without officers, and this comes just days after a city election was overturned. With a new vote set for May, Henderson says he is considering his legal options. 7:35 now. A portion of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein are now one signature away from being made public. The bill forcing the Department of Justice to release all unclassified Epstein files related to its investigation will soon head to the president's desk after nearly a unanimous bipartisan support both in the House and the Senate. CBS's Jared Hill has more.
Once a long shot, the bill is passed. Now a done deal. 427-1, House lawmakers approved a measure to force the Department of Justice to release files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Hours later, unanimous consent to clear the Senate once the bill arrives today.
The Senate has now passed
the Epstein bill.
We did it!
Outside the Capitol, Epstein survivors celebrated after sharing their stories.
This was me at 14 years old. I was a child.
Jenalisa Jones spoke about how she met Epstein at his home in Palm Beach.
It was my first encounter with a man, and in that manner, and it set the tone for the rest of my life.
Tuesday's vote, the culmination of months-long pressure and drama on Capitol Hill.
What do the American people want to know? They want to know who else visited Epstein's Island, who raped young girls, who abused young girls.
I want to see every single name released so that these women don't have to live in fear and intimidation.
After working to try and get some Republicans to vote against the measure, President Trump has said he would sign the Epstein documents bill. Still Tuesday, he bristled at questions.
You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax.
And called it a distraction, posting on social media he wants Republicans to focus on all of the victories since he took office. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And if President Trump signs the bill, the Justice Department will have about 30 days to make the files public, with some exceptions for survivors, personal information, and other sensitive data. Meanwhile, a Florida teenager died nearly 2 weeks ago aboard a Caribbean cruise ship, and now new details suggest foul play may be involved. CBS News has learned that criminal charges may soon be filed against a step-sibling of Anna Kepner, the 18-year-old high school cheerleader from Florida. Kepner was found dead on a Carnival cruise ship Horizon earlier this month, and law enforcement sources say her body was found by a housekeeper under the bed in her stateroom. She had been on a family vacation with her father, stepmother, and 3 step-siblings, and reportedly told her family the night before she died that she wasn't feeling well. A frantic search began when she didn't show up for breakfast.
If Anna was out and about on the ship, and let's say she was overly intoxicated and someone was taking advantage of her, there's ship security all over that vessel. They have an obligation to keep their passengers reasonably safe.
Investigators are now looking at that surveillance video, Kepner's cell phone data, and swipe card access that may have been used to enter her room. Carnival Cruise Line says it's cooperating with the investigation, and because the death happened in international waters, the FBI is leading the case. Meanwhile, the woman acquitted of the most serious charges in the 2022 death of a Boston police officer has filed a civil lawsuit. Karen Reed alleges she was the victim of an elaborate cover-up and malicious prosecution. The suit names multiple state police investigators and several residents who were at the home where her boyfriend John O'Keefe's body was found. Reed claims the defendants conspired to frame her for a crime she didn't commit. Attorneys for the residents named in the suit strongly deny the claims and say they're planning to sue her for defamation. A new report from Politico says the Trump administration is considering moving the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, headquarters to the Lone Star State. Political reporter Tom Frank spoke to our sister station in Austin about the report and said moving FEMA to Texas could come with logistical problems when it comes to meetings in D.C., but things might not change too much for FEMA employees.
But keep in mind that most FEMA employees do not work out of the headquarters in Washington, D.C. They work basically out of their homes, and they get called up when a disaster happens and told to go to a disaster fairly near their home. So it's a pretty dispersed agency already.
The report says White House officials have already interviewed Nim Kidd, who is the head of the Texas Emergency Management Office. They were considering him to run FEMA. Well, East Texas business is stepping up in a big way this holiday season, dropping off a boatload of toys to help bring joy to families who need it the most. Skeeter Boats employees delivered, get this, more than 2,000 toys collected during the company's annual bass tournament. And each year, thousands of anglers take part, and most bring a new toy not only for a chance to win a prize, but also, of course, to give back to the community. Jimmy Olson with JJO Charity says these donations make a real difference, especially for children who might not get a new gift at Christmas. Now, the toys will go to Toys for Tots and Neil McCoy's East Texas Angel Network. 7:41 now. Let's check on what's trending. A 10-year-old dog in Colorado is proving age is but a number. Jax recently retired after a 9-year dog diving career. You see him there finishing his final competition with his best performance ever. Trained like a professional athlete, Jax wowed crowds and earned second place nationally in his age group. At home, he's still putting his skills to work, fetching tissues and taking out the trash, even grabbing a cold drink for Jax and his owner, Drea. Now, it's clear this pup will always be a champion. Look at him go.
Very fitting that he has a Superman outfit on.
Right?
I mean, he is
Look at him, just
soaring through the air, I'll tell you what.
And
Wow.
dogs love the water. Whatever it may be, they like to be malicious. In a good way. Good malicious. Rambunctious would be the right
They
word.
like to be a little wild sometimes.
Oh, man. To be that dog that knows how to swim. I don't know how to swim. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
I
I don't think I would be the best to do these diving competitions, but I'm glad Jax is, even at the tender age of 10 years old. For a dog, that's pretty old. 10
Yeah.
years in dog years.
It is. That's a long career.
All right, well, fans of Cher may want to circle December 20th on their calendar. Here's why. That's because the legendary 79-year-old singer will appear that evening on Saturday Night Live. It'll be her first time performing as musical guest on an episode of the comedy sketch show for nearly 40 years. Her last appearance in that role was just before Thanksgiving in 1987. Cher has made cameos on SNL over the years, but the last time was in 2011. The Oscar and Grammy Award winner did performances on SNL special marking that is its 50th year last February. I love SNL.
SNL is pretty funny.
It's funny. There are some sketches that are like, all right, get to it. Like it drags on.
Right.
Other sketches are pretty funny. My favorite part is the news portion. I'm blanking right now. I'm not a good fan right now. The Weekend Update. Oh my goodness, I'm not a good fan right now. Weekend Update is hilarious.
Man, yeah, I've seen it a little bit. I'm not a huge, I don't watch SNL probably as much as you do, but.
You'll have to stay up and watch. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Some of them are pretty hilarious. All right, check this one out. This one is pretty interesting. If there's one thing you can't accuse animal rights groups, Pete, of, it's being subtle. Take a look at this. At the Lotus protest in Shreveport, Louisiana, the group put up a display featuring a man in a flesh-colored shorts posing in a turkey-like position. Now, the point was to show that like people, the birds also feel pain, love, fear, and joy. Protesters are encouraging families to go vegan for Thanksgiving and have a, quote, Thanks Vegan. To help do that, they handed out recipe books for Thanksgiving foods with no animal products. We talked about it before, but man, that is a position to hold for a while.
Right, yeah. I'm sure he probably takes breaks from time to time.
I would hope so.
I mean, to hand out those recipes, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Or
pretty
he would
good.
just handed them out laying down.
That's a pretty good symbol.
Right. Anyways, Thanksgiving right around the corner. It's still toasty out there.
It is.
And cloudy.
Yeah, very cloudy, and believe it or not, we actually have another chance. Like yesterday, we broke a record high yesterday. We have a chance to do that again for today. Let's take a look at what we have in store for today. Again, yesterday's record high previously was 83. We got up to about 84 in Thailand, and we also tied the record high in Longview as well. So low to mid 80s still going to be a likely possibility for today. Despite the cloud cover, it's really going to depend on that cloud cover. If we can get a little bit more sun, I'll have a little bit more confidence that we'll at least get to 83, 84. But the record high for today is 82, so a little bit less than yesterday. So we have a little bit of a better chance there. But for this morning, you're walking out the door with temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s. We have 70 degrees in Rose City, also 70 degrees in Mineola, 72 in Henderson. And those temperatures, they'll climb up into the low to mid 80s by the early afternoon. Still lots of clouds that we're going to be watching for through the rest of this morning. I have 84 as the high for today. It's really going to depend on if we can get a little bit more sun into this afternoon, if we can get to the 84 degree mark, but low to mid 80s, certainly a good bet into this afternoon. Also, southwest winds a little bit lighter, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then we are watching again, we've been talking about it for the past few days, our next big chance of rain. It's going to be a lot of rain at once here, which is why we do have a weather impact alert for Thursday and into Friday. And we are watching for another chance of rain, possibly into the next week, potentially into the early parts of next week. We're going to go over all of that in your full forecast coming up, so stick around.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. 7:45 this morning, still ahead from the stars of Wicked hitting the red carpet to Bridget Jones's big reveal and a dangerous new Manny and Malice. All this in your entertainment right after this break.
witchy stars of Wicked for Good made magic at the sequel's New York City premiere. The film follows Cynthia Erivo's Elphaba, now demonized as the Wicked Witch, and Ariana Grande as Glinda, the wizard's new symbol of goodness and a political distraction.
There's an allegory for almost everything that's happening in the world right now. There's something that this movie says and addresses about those things.
This is home for Wicked, and it's home for me. But also, it's like where I fell in love with this show.
The New York premiere happened just blocks from Wicked's Broadway theater. Wicked for Good hits movie theaters Friday.
2, 1.
Beloved movie character Bridget Jones now has a permanent home in London's Leicester Square. The messy statue unveiling fitting for the rom-com character known for her relatably messy life. Oscar winner Renee Zellweger, who first took on the title role in Bridget Jones's Diary back in 2001, told reporters she thinks the character's vulnerability has made Bridget resonate with audiences.
The most fun is the people that I meet around the world who come over and say, you know, I'm Bridget. You know, men and women. No, you don't understand. I'm Bridget. You know, isn't that special?
Harry Potter and Mary Poppins also have statues in Leicester Square.
Adam, so nice.
A charismatic nanny may not be what he seems in the new thriller series Malice.
Go on then. What is the worst thing you've ever done?
David Duchovny stars as a dad pitted against the family's new Manny, Adam, played by Jack Whitehall. After orchestrating a way into their lives in London, Adam's true nature and malicious plan emerges. Whitehall spoke about making Malice with creator James Wood.
He has his own unique tone, which I think is phenomenal, and his Malice is very much falls within that. It has kind of wit and humor, but it's it's great storytelling.
Malice is streaming on Amazon Prime. That's your eye on entertainment. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
All righty, let's get back to our question of the day this morning. We all live busy lives. So if you had an extra hour to your day, what would you use it for? We talked about sleeping. Man, we need it. Or just hanging out with ourselves.
Yeah, I have another guess, or not another guess, another answer.
There
it's
we
not
go.
a water cooler question. Hanging out with my fiance or family, just spending time, you know.
Everyone's just overly busy. So just a little extra to do just a little bit of something helps out.
Oh, yeah.
Dean going along the same thing with you, saying spending it with his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Teresa saying no more news. Well, I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say to that.
There's always something
There's
happening.
always something happening. But it's okay to tune out every now and then. There's a lot happening in the world. So it's okay to have a mental health day to yourself and just do whatever you want. Lori also saying sleep. So lots of people wanting to sleep today. I think that would be my top one is sleep.
I mean, sleeping weather. I mean, look at that right there.
It'll be amazing sleeping weather whenever that rain moves in overnight. Are we expecting thunder?
We are expecting thunder.
Even better.
Yeah, we are
Even
expecting some thunderstorms along and north of I-20 for the first wave. We got a couple waves. We got one in the morning. That's going to be when you're sleeping. We got 3:30 in the morning arrival for that. We'll take a look at future Skycast for the further details here, but we have that potential again for some record high temperatures in the low to mid 80s under a mostly cloudy sky. We could have a couple of breaks in the clouds for this afternoon, but otherwise it's a pretty dreary forecast, at least for this morning. Weather impact alert declared for Thursday into Friday. That's for those heavy thunderstorm chances. Gusty winds and flash flooding are the two main things that we're going to be watching for when it comes to these. So again, you're definitely going to want that rain gear. Download CBS19 Plus and the CBS19 app on your phone. We'll be streaming as we go throughout tomorrow. I'll have a stream for you tomorrow, this morning, so you can see the latest updates when it comes to the weather data heading into the next couple of days here. But we do have excessive rainfall outlook from the Weather Prediction Center. A lot of East Texas within that marginal risk. So basically meaning one or two locations within this blue shaded area could see some very heavy rainfall, which could lead to flash flooding. As we take a look at future Skycast, couple showers here and there, but here comes that first wave early tomorrow morning, impacting, again, along and north of I-20, Emory, Sulphur Springs, Mineola, Gilmer. likely going to be waking up to some very noisy storms for tomorrow. And then the rest of us will get in on some rain for the second half of Thursday and into early parts of your Friday. So that's what we're going to be watching for here. Again, I don't expect too much of a severe threat with this. It's mainly going to be a flooding threat, but we'll keep you updated throughout the next couple of days here. And of course, we'll be streaming on CBS19 Plus, the CBS19 weather experts for the latest weather updates there. Here's how much rain. This is not obviously concrete, but somewhere within the realm of 1, 2, maybe even 3 inches of rain, possibly even close to 5 inches closer to the DFW area. Then we take a break from the rain chances Saturday and Sunday, and then we are watching for another dose of very heavy rainfall Monday into Tuesday. We'll keep you updated throughout the week on that.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. We're about to step away for a quick moment while we do our over-the-air broadcast with a quick news update. We'll be right back here on CBS 19 Plus. Good morning, all. I'm Jesus Martinez. Thank you so much for joining us for this news update. Prescott County investigators will soon name a third suspect tied to the 1983 Kentucky Fried Chicken murders, and it's been more than 40 years since 5 people were kidnapped and murdered in Kilgore. 5 victims were taken from that KFC, driven to an oil field where they were shot execution style. Romeo Pinkerton and his cousin Darnell Hartsfield were eventually convicted after DNA evidence tied them to the scene, that is. The Rusk County District Attorney's Office says the new DNA technology has found the person linked to a final genetic profile. Prosecutors will show the name of that person Friday in a news conference, calling it a major step in closing one of East Texas's most notorious unsolved mysteries. Hartsfield claimed there was another killer out there, but he died, or Hartsfield that is, died in 2022 while serving a life sentence. In Hawkins, a divided city council has removed municipal judge Mitch Henderson, adding to the city's ongoing challenges without a police department. Mayor Deb Rushing cast the tie-breaking vote, even as she remains under investigation by the Texas Rangers for tampering with government records. Henderson says the council needed 4 votes and believes politics and pending citations may be behind the move. Rushing says the city doesn't need a judge without officers, and this comes just days after a city election was overturned with a new vote set for May. Henderson says he is considering his legal options. A federal court ruled Texas cannot use its newly drawn congressional map in its next year's midterm elections. The court said challengers would likely be able to prove that the map was the product of unconstitutional racial gerrymandering. The Republican-friendly map made Texas the centerpiece of a national GOP effort to redraw congressional maps ahead of the 2026 midterms. State Republican that is, lawmakers were aiming to produce as many as 5 more GOP-friendly seats by next year. For next year, that is, at Trump's request, urging the court that is ordered the Texas to use its previous map, which the state enacted after the census in 2020. 2 Texas school districts are now facing lawsuits for not displaying the 10 Commandments, and Attorney General Ken Paxton said he is suing Round Rock and Leander ISD, saying they're violating state law. Paxton notes that the enforcement of the law is currently paused for districts already involved in a separate lawsuit, but Round Rock and Leander ISDs are not part of that case. He argues they should still comply, especially since donated posters are available. All right, let's get a check of that forecast now with Joel. It is warm out there.
It is, and it's also very cloudy. We'll have a couple of instances where we could see a little bit of sun for this afternoon, but those temperatures, on the other hand, yes, very, very warm, record-breaking high temperatures, certainly a possibility into this afternoon with records in the low to mid 80s. Temperatures also in the low to mid 80s, maybe exceeding 82 degrees. We got a weather impact alert in place for Thursday into Friday for gusty winds and flooding with some of the heavy thunderstorms that are expected to move through. Again, make sure to have that rain gear and download CBS19 on your app store. Rainfall potential over the next several days here with those heavy thunderstorms could exceed 1 to 2 inches, maybe even 3 inches. We get a little bit of a break this weekend with rain returning next week.
All right, 8 o'clock this morning, news before we head out the door. The Smith County Commissioner's Court approved the Precinct 4 Constable's Office to join ICE's 287G Task Force Model Program. Now, the partnership gives deputy constables limited immigration enforcement authority, and many residents took the stand yesterday on both sides of this program as this continues to be a topic of discussion across the community. Constable Josh Joplin says there's no reason for the community to be afraid, adding that people who follow the law have nothing to worry about. And in Rusk County, investigators will name a 3rd suspect in the 1983 Kentucky Fried Chicken murders this Friday. It's been more than 40 years after 5 people were killed in Kilgore, and officials say new DNA technology has identified a 3rd person linked to that, thanks to genetic technologies. And in January, Roblox will roll out a big safety upgrade to protect kids online. The platform is adding facial age checks for anyone using its chat feature. Players who don't verify can still play, but can't use the chat feature. Roblox is also launching a parent safety central with tools to monitor interactions and set limits.
All right, one more look at that 7-day forecast here. A pretty gloomy day is going to be upon us here with a couple of chances to see some sun into this afternoon, but otherwise very cloudy, very warm, temperatures exceeding records possibly into this afternoon. Got a couple of showers that also could be a possibility, but the main area of rain will be moving in Thursday into the first half of Friday. Second half of Friday looks to be much better. If you have any Friday night plans, Friday night football should be a-okay there. Then we get a little bit of a break into this weekend when it comes to the rain chances, and then they return once again for Monday and Tuesday with our next system. That could potentially bring us an additional round of heavy rainfall No weather impact alert in place for that yet. We're going to wait a little bit more until we get a little bit more confidence with the forecast, but certainly another heavy round of rain going to be possible, and we'll keep you updated throughout the week.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. Halloween is far from over, but one Wisconsin farm is still celebrating all things pumpkins. That is by feeding them to the happy cows. The Cleaver family in Oregon, Wisconsin has been collecting leftover pumpkins from the community, giving the animals a tasty seasonal treat, and the cows get very excited by the time the wagon rolls around full of pumpkins as it comes in through the gate, and they eat almost anything up right in front of them. It's a fun way to cut down on waste and keep the herd smiling this fall. Even the cows are getting in on the pumpkin trend.
Oh, for sure. And
no pumpkin spice for them, but
yeah, no pumpkin spice, but the actual pumpkin itself,
even better. They have it all.
That's their jam.
All right, well, thanks so much for starting your day with us here on Morning Y'all on CBS19 Plus. Catch the noon show coming up later, of course, at noon here on CBS and on CBS19 Plus. Here's what's coming up later this morning. Make sure to stay with us throughout the day, and we'll see you dark and early tomorrow.